Hello everyone, a warm welcome to all from SGT University. I am Dr. Bhupender Yadav from Faculty of Dental Sciences, and today we are going to learn about orientation jaw relation. What are jaw relations? Jaw relations are three-dimensional spatial relationship of the maxilla to the mandible. According to Boucher, jaw relations can be classified into orientation jaw relation, vertical jaw relation, and horizontal jaw relation. Orientation jaw relations establishes the references in the cranium. Vertical relation establishes the amount of jaw separation allowable for the denture, whereas horizontal jaw relations establish the front to back and side to side relationship of one jaw to the another. What are orientation jaw relation? Orientation jaw relation are those that orient the mandible to the cranium in such a way that when mandible is kept in its most posterior position, the mandible can rotate in sagittal plane around an imaginary transverse axis passing through or near the condyle. This record gives the angulation of maxilla to the base of the skull. Now, what is an hinge axis? It is an imaginary line around which the mandible may rotate within the sagittal plane. What is terminal hinge axis? It is an imaginary line around which the mandible may rotate within the sagittal plane in the most retruded position. Now, there are four schools of thoughts or four theories of hinge axis. One is absolute location of hinge axis, arbitrary location of hinge axis, non-believers of hinge axis, and split hinge axis. McCollum in 1939 proposed absolute location of hinge axis. He believed that there is definite transverse axis and it should be located accurately to simulate the jaw movements. Craddock and Simmons in 1952 believed in arbitrary location of hinge axis. They believed that arbitrary location of hinge axis is reliable even though accurate location is valuable. Beck was a non-believer of hinge axis. Beck and his group does not believe the hinge axis can be accurately located or believe that other movements are involved and cannot be reproduced by an articulator simulated one axis. Now comes the fourth group, that is split axis. This group believes that there are two axes of rotation, one in each condyle, and they are parallel to each other. Now, what are the clinical use of the terminal hinge axis? The location of transverse hinge axis serves only to orient the maxilla and to record the static starting point for functional mandibular movements. It does not record centric relation or condylar movements. It allows the transfer of the opening axis of the jaws to the articulator so that the occlusion would be on the same arc of the closure as in the patient's mouth. Orientation jaw relations are recorded using Facebow. Now, what is a Facebow? Facebow is a caliper-like device which is used to record the relationship of the maxilla to the temporomandibular joints. Now, what is the purpose of the Facebow? Facebow is used to orient the maxillary cast to the articulator in the same relationship to the opening and closing axis of the articulator as exists between the maxilla and the opening and closing axis in the temporomandibular joints. It also retains the cast in its correct relation until it is attached to the upper member with plaster of Paris. Facebow is indicated when cusp teeth are used, when balanced occlusion in eccentric position is desired, when definite cusp fossa or cusp tip to cusp incline relation is desired, when interocclusal check records are used for verification of jaw position, and when occlusal vertical dimension is subjected to change. Now, what are the parts of a Facebook? Facebook comprises of a U-shaped frame, which is large enough to extend from the region of one TMJ to the other TMJ, and it is wide enough to avoid contacts with the side of the face. On one end of the U-shaped frame, two condylar rods are attached, which goes into the external acoustic meatus of the patient's ear. The U-shaped frame also has an orbital pointer, which helps in locating the third point of reference on the patient's face. Now comes the bite fork. It is that part that attaches to the occlusal ring or the occlusal indentation of the patient's natural teeth. Now comes the locking device. The fork attaches to the face bone by means of a locking device, which also serves to support the face bone, the maxillary occlusal ring, and the maxillary cast, while the cast are being attached to the articulator. There are two types of face bone. One is kinematic and second is arbitrary. The kinematic face bone locates the absolute location of hinge axis, whereas the arbitrary type locates the arbitrary location of the hinge axis. Kinematic face bone are more accurate and records true hinge axis with an error of 1 mm. They don't use anterior reference point, are more time consuming, and are indicated when complex fixed prostho procedures such as full mouth rehabilitation are done in patient's mouth. Whereas arbitrary face bone are less accurate and records arbitrary hinge axis with an error of 5 mm. They use anterior reference point, are less time consuming, and are indicated for complete denture cases where changes in vertical dimension is not significant. Now I will demonstrate how to take a face bone record for a dentulous patient. First, you have to soften the impression compound in hot water and knead it properly and mold into a rope form. Then place the kneaded compound on the U-shaped bite fork. The impression compound should not be more than 2 to 3 mm in thickness, as we have to record only the occlusal indentation of the maxillary jaw. Then place the bite fork with the softened impression compound in the patient's mouth. The midline of the bite fork should match with the midline of the face. Record the occlusal and incisal surface and remove when the compound sets. Then place the maxillary cast on the recorded indentation and match the midline of the cast with the bite fork. Then place the bite fork inside the patient's mouth and assemble the U-shaped frame with the locking device. Then insert the condylar rod of the U-shaped frame in the external acoustic meatus of the patient very gently. Then locate the infraorbital notch and match it with the orbital pointer of the face bone. Then tighten the 3 screws of the locking device. First tighten the screw number 1. Then screw number 2. And then screw number 3. Then remove the face bow from the patient's mouth and external acoustic meatus and inspect it outside. Then you have to transfer the face bow record onto the semi-adjustable articulator. The condylar rods are attached to the corresponding part on the articulator, and the orbital pointer of the face bow should be matched with the orbital pointer of the articulator using the balancing rod of the face bow. So today we learned about orientation jaw relation. In my next video we are going to learn about vertical jaw relation. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. See you next time.